What's going on, guys? Welcome to June's episode of Game of the Month, the show where we pick a game at random every month, and at the end of the month, we talk about our experience with that game. My name's Seth.
I'm Chevy.
And I'm Chris.
And we're moving into a new month, so make sure to, when they're available, download PES 2019 and Horizon Chase Turbo. I know everybody's very excited about those games. Me too. Chris especially. He loves him some PES. Also, if you missed it, Sonic Mania and Borderlands Handsome Collection. We talked about those yesterday, so make sure to watch Plus Club. Let us know what we thought of those games. We let you know what we thought of those games. And yeah, we played Path of Exile this month. We'll get into that in a sec. But before we go in any further, let's pick our game of the month for July. I pulled a random number randomly from Google. I typed in, hey, what's a good number between this number to that number? Google, and it's like 16.
Final Fantasy X.
Well, fucking, it's about time. I have a long, weird history with this game, so.
Well, and spoiler alert, that screwed up my pick.
Oh, I figured that's what you were going to pick.
Because I wanted you to play.
So now you can pick Final Fantasy 14 for your month. Yeah, so in July, we'll be playing Final Fantasy X. I'm not going to really put a stipulation on what version you play. I'm just going to buy the remastered one.
Yeah, the story's the same.
Yeah,
so it doesn't matter.
However you can play it.
I would also say 10-2 is optional. I would encourage people to play it just for the gameplay aspect. Story doesn't fucking matter.
But it's not the game we picked. Final Fantasy X is our game of the month for July, so we'll be playing that next month. I'm actually kind of interested in checking out. So, yeah. We have Discord link down below. Talk to us anytime, all the time. And we are on iTunes, Spotify, and other podcast platforms if you'd prefer to listen to us. You like audio, you hate video. You're watching this and you're like, my eyes fucking burn. I'm sorry about that, but that's not our fault. You can't sue us. Yeah, so in June, we played Path of Exile. If you did not have a chance to play Path of Exile, it is a isometric ARPG. Takes after, in my opinion, Diablo 2. It's free to play. Chris picked it. And you do pretty much what you would assume in a lot of these type of games. You click, or with the controller, you move around. You kill things, you get loot, you progress through the story. It's got multiple mini zones. It's got like 10 fucking chapters, which is way more than when we originally played.
It might have more than that now. I don't know.
Yeah, it probably does have more. That's just how far I knew of. And Legion just came out this month, so it was a good month that I did not get to experience that part because I played it earlier this month before I went to LA. Yeah, so we all played. I think Chris played on PC.
I did both.
Oh, you did both? Okay.
Uh-huh.
And just for transparency, we've all done both at some point or another.
Yeah.
This month, me and you dabbled in the PS4 version.
I dabbled's a funny word to use.
Yeah. Yeah, so we all played it. Let's start with Chevy.
Okay.
Give us your impressions this month of Path of Exile.
My impressions. I'm going to kind of go back to when I first played the game real quick so I can give an impression on what I initially thought of the game and then move into now. So when I originally saw this game, I thought the graphics were kind of like older looking. And honestly, I was not interested when I first saw it. But I was like, well, I loved Diablo type games. I should just play it, give it a shot. Coming back to it now, and when I look at it, that thought process isn't even there anymore for me. So I think a lot has changed since that game first came out and the way it is now in my thought process on games in general.
I do want to offer, though, I think the game was trying to take after Diablo 2 in its visual style.
No, for sure.
So it had that. And it was also a team of like 3 people when the game started.
Well, and they've come a long ways, too, because a lot of the moves are way nicer looking than they used to be. So, not that they look bad. I was just being very judgmental the first time I played this game. But this time, I knew what I was getting to. It was my first foray into PlayStation. I was very concerned because I think ARPG, I think mouse and keyboard, and I have kind of dabbled in ARPGs on console a little bit, and they never feel right. And I'm happy to say that Path of Exile figured out how to do controller really well.
I think it's the best example of how to do an RPG. I have not played Diablo 3 though on console.
I haven't either, but I do want to say the only thing that sucks, and there's not really a way around it besides like having a mouse, is menus are slower with a controller than they would be with a mouse. But combat was the part where I was kind of worried about it, because once I'm in the menus, I don't care about how much time I'm taking personally. Combat is where I was worried about it, because sometimes you want to like specifically target a person because maybe they're causing you the most grief in the group. And the game has a really smart like auto targeting system, but you can adjust your target real quick, and it'll just stay on that person as well.
It's really smart where you're pointing the analog. It pretty much predicts really well who you're trying to hit. So it's really pretty dead on.
Yeah, most of the time when I was fighting, I just noticed I would just like flick the stick real quick in the direction I wanted to be fighting, and then it would just kind of go for you. So they really thought about how to make it play on a controller, and I appreciate that. Even the looting, same idea. You kind of flick the stick in the right direction, and it'll go to what you probably are more after. So it usually will prioritize currencies first, and then rare loot, and blah 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 down to common. So really smart.
Yeah, there's a lot of really good streamlined systems that make the whole experience feel good.
For sure. This time I played a, whatever the old man is, I think he's Templar.
Yeah.
And I had dabbled with everybody before, but I hadn't really put any effort into anyone other than the Shadow in the past. And so I wanted to try something different, so I made a Templar. I did look up a build, and I followed it pretty much to a T. It's called I think it's called a Lazy Paladin build. And it is very much that. It focuses on not being able to die and just AoEing the crap out of everything. They die slowly, but I don't die. So very nice. I played all the way through until Act 7, and I'm in my mid-50s. So I did put a good chunk of time into this game this month.
Yeah, you caught up to me.
Yeah. My biggest takeaways, I think, from playing it this time is they've really expanded this game a lot in the time it's come out.
Oh, yeah.
They've done a lot to make lots of things to do in the game. They all vary very well, and the story is actually interesting. I remember playing it the first time and not caring about the story, and this time, though I'm not like super invested in it, it's enough to actually like go, oh, this is kind of neat. So it really kind of hits a lot of really good checkpoints when it comes to these kind of games. My only complaint, and it's not even a major problem, it's just more so just for me, I don't feel like I'm like replacing my gear that often, and I think it's a little weird for the amount that drops on screen. So
it is weird. It doesn't feel too long to get new gear, but for particular pieces, sometimes it feels like a long time.
Oh, I was in my 40s and still wearing in my teens like boots.
Yeah,
So
I had like level 32 gauntlets into my like late 40s for a while. But other things I was swapping out. But yeah, it's like particular things. The drop rates on them are weird. And then if I found, I don't remember what it's called in Path of Exile, but like legendaries essentially. Anytime I found those, they were always low level, which I thought was kind of odd.
yeah.
They'd be like in the teens, and I'd be like 50 something.
Yeah, I bought most of mine. So.
Yeah.
There is a trading system in the game.
I know you can upgrade gear and shit like that, but I thought it was weird that every time I found legendaries, one time like 3 dropped off a dude, and they're all the same item, and they're all like level 12.
You might have had a modifier to duplicate your drops.
Sure, but I was just like, that's weird that they're always low level, so it made it
is
not
weird.
exciting.
No, so yeah, there's definitely some quirks in there. I think I would like to see improved, but that might also be part of their strategy to get you to play longer too. So I don't know what the deal is there. I do know that they release content fairly regularly as well.
It might be an incentive too to use one of their 2 like big crafting systems.
Maybe. Yeah, I didn't dabble too much.
Gear is just to fucking break down to craft.
Possibly, I didn't really dabble too much in the crafting or any of the extra modes in the game because I was trying to just get through the 10 acts, which I failed to do by the end of the month. But
yeah, I wanted to do the same thing. I was gone though. It sucked.
I don't really have a whole lot that I can think of off the top of my head. I'll jump in if you guys say something that I'm thinking of, but when do you guys want to go ahead and take it?
We'll have Chris go next.
Ooh. So I played this mostly this month on PC. I did dabble a little bit here and there on PS4, but I played PC because I was playing with Keith because he wanted something to play with, and I made about 4 different characters throughout the month. But I mostly played on a Templar to begin with, and I just kind of made like this AoE bursty mana regen support type character. And it was okay, but I really enjoyed playing the Shadow this time around. I just kind of made like this like throw a bunch of knives like kunai style ninja-esque character. And that was a lot of fun. But the really thing I take away from most of this is that you can literally build your characters pretty much any way you want. Like they kind of start off in a base area, and it works kind of like the sphere grid from Final Fantasy X. Funny enough, all the characters have like the kind of place where they set in this giant grid that they kind of specialize in. But if you put enough points, you can really branch out anywhere and make your character however you want. There's no set way to do it. Which is what really like is daunting at first, but really lends itself in the long run to once you understand, like you just kind of focus on one weapon type and you can like, specialize in that or specialize into like, being more of like a defensive character. You just pick a talent, what is it, a gold slot or something like that, a larger rune slot, and just kind of head for that, just beeline to that slot and then kind of branch out from there.
Oh yeah.
And the other thing I like about this is there's no currency really in the game. Like there's no like
it's
skill
or
gold. It's all barter system, which I think is why there's so much of the loot that you don't want, like you wouldn't want equipped. It's kind of there to entice you, like fill your slot up and take this back to town to trade in for currency, for trade value,
which I really like. It's really bold of them to do that. I think it works. At first, it's weird. You're like, "Where's the money at?" But it's just like, you need to give me those items for this.
One I think a lot of that comes from too is because they were trying to essentially make a spiritual successor to Diablo 2.
Early on,
is Diablo 2's money becomes useless. And then people were just bartering at the end of the game. There were literally people would create rooms with the name of the item they were trying to trade, and people would come in and haggle with them. So they simplified that system essentially. I like it a lot better than Diablo 2's version of that. And plus, they don't have to worry about balancing an economy if there's no money. So
Smart.
Right. And since it is a free-to-play game, there is an in-game shop, but there's nothing in there that would like make you better than any other player. It's all like cosmetic stuff or maybe an extra bag slot if you really want that extra slot. Like you're filling up your stuff for whatever reason, the 5 that you already have is not enough to sustain what you want. You can purchase more if you really want to.
I spent $30 this month on it.
Yeah. Yeah, I spent money on it as well.
I didn't spend any money, but I got a bunch of stuff from being a Plus Club member for this month, so that was nice. Just a couple of cosmetics and a pet.
I wish we got stuff for Plus Club. I'd be down. Sony, sponsor us.
And then the only thing is the difference for me when playing like the PlayStation version and the PC version is the targeting system bothered me because I'm so used to just being able to click target and aim where I want things to go. I found a hard time playing melee characters on the console version. It felt like if I was trying to do an attack, the character wouldn't walk up to them. He would just sit there and swing, just aimlessly wasting my mana. So it's probably something I was doing wrong on my end. I'll chalk it up to that. But it's something I found difficult to control.
And I don't think you're wrong in that. I do think there's a point where it kind of clicks, though, because when I first started playing, I didn't like it either. And then once I got, I think, into my 20s and had moves that I was enjoying with my build and stuff like that, and then I kind of figured out that I could just flick the joystick in what direction I want to be aiming. It just kind of clicked for me, and I started enjoying it a lot. So I do think that is a hurdle, especially coming from mouse and keyboard, to get over. But I do think it gets better. So
to be 100% honest as well, before this month, I downloaded it on PS4 because it came out recently, I think, on PS4. And I was like, oh, I wonder how it plays. And I have all my, level 40 characters on fucking PC because I've played, throughout the years. And I was just checking it out, and I didn't like it. I uninstalled it like almost instantly. And then I reinstalled it because I was like, I should probably play it on there because I know there's certain people who would maybe be more inclined to play on PS4 and not on PC. And the big thing that kind of threw me off was like the way the analog works as your movements is simulating clicking about like 5 feet in front of your character, as opposed to freely moving your character at will. Yeah. So if you press like up real quick, your character will go.
Yeah.
And at first I'm like, oh, that's a weird feeling. But when you're just holding it and moving, it doesn't even matter. And you get used to it. So like all my complaints that I had early on about it, they're all out the window. I don't care about it anymore.
Yeah,
especially a lot of the streamlined aspects that they did for the console, I almost like better than the PC, because it's just like you press a button, it does something, without you even have to like move. It sounds really lazy, but you don't have to move the mouse to click things. Just go, and it just fucking does it all. It's a really smart system.
it's a lot more like micromanaging than it is like being precise and clicking on things or whatever. But like I said, I do think it's a hurdle that needs to be attempted to get over at some point,
especially when you're used to ARPGs on PC.
Yeah, and not to say that, like I said, not that you're wrong, obviously, because you're going to prefer what you prefer, and I do think there's going to be people out there who just are never going to enjoy it on a controller. So, but I do want to emphasize from my perspective, I hated it at first as well. So
seems to be a across the board thing.
Yeah. Anything else?
Once it switched to like a caster class, I made a witch on the PS4. It was fine. It was just I had a problem with the melee aspect of it. It seemed harder for me to understand the concept of getting my character close enough and pressing the button.
Right.
Yeah.
But yeah.
I think a lot of that too. Me and you kind of have similar move styles though, where they're like conal or circle blasting areas in front of you. So it's all AOE combat.
If I'm
anyways.
spamming them, but I got a lot of moves too where I hit single targets, and I don't have issues.
Oh,
with
I don't have a single target move.
Yeah, I have one where he just almost swings like he's swinging a fucking axe and taking down a tree, but does a shitload of damage, and then I have splash damage on that move. So when I'm hitting one dude, the crowd's getting hit.
Gotcha. Yeah, all my moves are AOE. One of them is literally just around me.
But it's still I'm targeting the single person, and I typically will target the boss.
Yeah.
And just hit them so all the ads are getting fucking murdered.
Right.
Them, so
That reminds me as well that your abilities are customizable in the fact that you can gem, like say you have like the choppy move you got, and you can gem it to have a support gem where it does like poison damage or thunder damage, or it does AoE damage.
Skills are gem based, which I actually kind of love too, because like you were saying earlier, and even when you listen to the devs talk about this game, when you pick a class, you're essentially picking what you look like and your starting point on the map.
Yep.
And you are going to get, a start in something that would seem more fitting for that type of character, but you're able to move where the fuck you want on that. So between the gem skills essentially, and later there's other things you unlock that are like skills, and then which are skills, and then the fucking skill tree, you can really do whatever the fuck you want.
Yeah, there's a lot of choice.
Yeah,
and
which
it
is super daunting.
I say very intimidating.
I came into it already knowing though, because I've played since it came out. So
but
every time I come back to it, I'm like, oh fuck, okay, I gotta figure this out again.
I think Chris gave a pretty good piece of advice for that too. Is make sure you kind of have like an idea of like what kind of play style you think you want to go for. And if you're just not sure, make a character, just collect some gems real quick. Don't get too far, and get an idea of what kind of skills are going to be in the game, because essentially you're just going to get glorified bigger moves of a lot of the styles of moves in the beginning anyways. And from there you can go, okay, I'm going to make a character based off this, because a lot of times what you're trying to do is you're trying to focus towards a particular skill, how to be good at this skill.
And selecting stats accordingly to be able to use the skill effectively.
It's definitely less about like, making your character like stat heavy in one regard as much as just being like, how can I make this move amazing? Seems to be kind of the bigger focus than it is how do I make my character's stats amazing.
It's just interesting that the game is not like necessarily class based. It's build based.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's just like your build. If you're sloppy about it, your character's probably going to not be that great.
Mm-hmm.
So not to freak anyone out who didn't play it. But yeah, you definitely want to focus in on certain aspects and kind of get an idea of what you want to do. They also, I believe, on their website have a skill tree that you can kind of preemptively get an idea of a build. So.
Yeah, and there's a couple websites out there that have predetermined builds as well. If you want to just play someone else's build to get an idea about the game, and then after that, I mean, the game, most people who get into the game and keep playing it are rolling multiple characters anyways. So if it works for you then and you feel like creating your own build after that, you will have a much better idea on what you're doing at that point. So, or you can just say screw it and go for it.
That's what I do.
I didn't this time because I was just trying to play for the channel, obviously, so I wanted something where I could just kind of play and cruise through the game, and it was working. till I stop playing.
Anything else?
No.
Okay, yeah. So hopping back into this, just to be clear, I fucking love Path of Exile. So I was playing this before this month, and Chris was very kind. He was like, "Hey, he's playing it. Some people are playing. Let's all play it," which I appreciated. Yeah, I've been having a blast playing it this month. I've probably played it more than almost anything else this month, and which kind of sucks because I want to play more Borderlands, but time. What I did was I did verbatim my Marauder build from PC, did the exact same build, just recreated him, and then I surpassed him. So my highest level character is now on PS4. But like I said, I got a bunch of characters on PC. They're all like in their 40s, so I could catch up easily if I was playing on there. Yeah, so playing the build I already have, which is essentially just fucking Sunder build, like just fucking hitting and killing everything in front of me. Everything just blows up. So yeah, playing on PS4, kind of talked about already. I think once you get used to it, the systems work great. I think the inventory at first is weird, but I think works really well. I was actually kind of flying through it pretty fast when I got used to it. The game looks great on PS4. It's also really nice, and I'm sure on PC, if you have a huge like TV or monitor you play your PC on, I don't do that shit. I can't do that. But on my TV, it looked great. You know, big screen and shit. I'm just sitting there with a controller, like being a lazy piece of shit in my chair, playing this game, and just trying to catch up to where I was before. And yeah, it translates really well. Looks really good. The game itself looks better than it did, like you said, because me and you took a long break from it. All the new, every update that's come out that's added some new system or mini game type thing, activities to do, is, I'm going to say it again, daunting, but welcome. There's a lot of really cool things they've added to this game that I spent most this month trying to figure out. And they're all really cool. The mine's really neat. The whole new synthesis thing, even though that's not the newest one, Legion is obviously, is really neat, kind of making your own like dungeon essentially.
Yeah.
The roguelike dungeon place. I didn't dabble in that too much, but Josh was telling me that you get shit for actually completing that. That is like, I forgot what the fuck he said, but it's like, you need to do it. I was like, oh fuck, I haven't done that, so I forgot what it was. But yeah, all welcome additions, really cool. It's also neat because when me and you originally played, I think it was like chapter 3 or act 3 was like the end.
Yeah.
It's just a hard end. You beat the boss, and it's like, thanks for playing. You can keep playing if you want, but this is the end. And we're like, okay. So coming back, and there's like this many acts now. I'm like, oh shit, there's a lot of game here. Or I already liked it a lot before, and there was a lot of game then, but like, it's like a full fucking game. And their whole philosophy has always been they wanted to make a game that they would want to play. Mm-hmm. They want it to feel like a full game when you play it, and then make you essentially want to buy pets and shit, which is, I think, welcome as well. Also, the hideout system, I think, is really cool. You can invite people into your hideout, people who are part of like your clan or whatever the fuck it's called in that. Can go there, guild. And you can decorate it. You can get items to put in there, but you can also buy things from their like shop to put in there, which I think is completely fair and actually really cool. And yeah, everything about it I really enjoyed. I don't have any complaints. I actually really like playing on PS4. And I had a blast playing it. I only played with you a little bit. Tried to play with Josh. He just ghosted me.
It's funny. It was more so like you just showed up one time. You were in my game. I was like, okay, here we go.
I did the exact same thing with Josh, and he wouldn't talk to me. And then he's disconnected, and I texted him, and he wouldn't respond to me for like 3 days.
Shame.
And then when he's like, you want to play? I'm like, are you going to fucking play this time or disappear for 3 days? I don't know if I want to take that risk.
When we were doing, I'll say this for after the episode. I was going to say when I was doing the E3 coverage, he kept hitting me up to play. I was like, I don't have time right now.
No time, E3.
Literally watching multi-hour videos live right now.
Yeah.
So.
And yeah, as impressions go, this is a game that I will continue to play after this month. Obviously, this is a game I always come back to.
Intermittently, yeah.
Yeah. This whole month has been kind of crazy because first off, I think this is probably one of the best months between Plus Club and Game of the Month that we've had in a long time, if ever. And between Borderlands 2, Borderlands pre-sequel, and Path of Exile, these are all games I still want to play right after this month. So I still want to go through and beat like all the Borderlands games before 3 comes out. I'm running out of fucking time on that. But yeah, I need to dabble in Legion. I haven't done that. I was gone when that came out. But yeah, overall, it's awesome. Love Path of Exile. And it plays great on PS4. I'm sure it plays great on Xbox. It's free to play. Download it. This is not an advertisement. Pay me.
No, though our show pretty much is free advertising for games.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, they need to take notice.
Japan. They're copyright happy when it comes to this stuff.
Oh, yeah. Okay, let's jump into recommendations. I'm going to do the obvious ones. If you like Diablo, Diablo 2, Diablo 3, if you like any ARPGs, I think you've probably already played this. I think it's one of the best on the market. People love this game. People play it a lot. If you like RPGs, story-based RPGs, anything where you level, accrue loot, and go through a story, building a character, you're probably going to dig this game if you haven't played it. If you like multiplayer games, co-op games, check this out. Just hopefully you're okay with more RPG type action gameplay and slower paced combat. It can get a little hectic. You can get like one shot, two shotted, but that's not really like fast paced combat. You just got fucking murdered. But it's different.
It's not false.
Yeah.
Get hit so hard sometimes you're like, what the fuck was that?
But there's a lot of times where you're like cycling through your potion or whatever because your health's going down and you're just trying to balance it out while you're in the middle of a fight and you're watching their health, and it's just like a long process, which I really dig. Also, bosses in this game, I think, especially later in the game, get really fucking crazy, and I think they're really neat. There's some really disturbing things that you fight later in the game. I was like, this is fucking gross.
Actually, super mechanic heavy for an RPG.
Yeah,
I have to give them props on that.
Yeah. And the design just gets better and better later in the game. So they've really done the DE Warframe approach to that game and just made it better and better and better. Yeah, I mean, that's pretty much who I'd recommend it to. I do not think this game's for everybody. I think a lot of people will be turned off by the overcomplicated, and when I say overcomplicated, I love it. But overcomplicated skill tree system and gem system and no currency. It's very unorthodox. It's very much their thing. And for people who want deeper RPG mechanics, this game's for you. If you want something where you, like, I know people who don't play Warframe because they don't like the mod system. I always tell them, you just got to learn it. It's kind of weird. But once you learn it, you're done. You're good. If you can get past that, you know, whatever. Same thing with this. You just got to learn how all the systems work. Once you get it down, you will have nothing to worry about. After that, it's pretty simple. So, but this game's definitely not for everybody. But I would implore you to try it at the very least, though, because it's fantastic.
And if you're not into heavy systems, just to remind, as a reminder, there are plenty of people out there who have made multiple builds, and you can do a completely brainless approach to this game if you want.
Shit.
Yep. Mm-hmm. To piggyback off you, I was going to also emphasize, you know, people who are into full customization of their experience. That's what you're going to get out of this. Your gameplay style is completely up to you. So, so that
you have
is
a lot of control over your character.
Yeah. So I do recommend that. And in the opposite spectrum of that, if you want a simple experience, unless you do the thing I mentioned earlier, this isn't for you. It's a very big, it's customizable experience. Yeah. And if you like, you know, when a company, I don't know how a good way to explain this, but like how Warframe is, or how this game is, or anyone who actually like has like a passion for the game they're making in a free to play space, these are the perfect games to kind of come back and revisit. And if you like having that kind of game in your library that you can just check in on every once in a while, this is a perfect game for that. Yeah. Because your stuff will be there, and there'll be plenty for you to catch up on if you take a couple months off. So.
Which they actually designed the game with that in mind.
Yeah, they know that's how people play this kind of stuff.
I watched the thing, and it was really interesting to hear them say, like, we know you're going to leave, we just hope you come back, so we let you know when to do that.
For sure, and I think most online games should have that philosophy, because it's a very competitive space.
There's so many fucking games now. This isn't Tastecast, we talk about that.
And it's really easy to bounce around. right? Because I'm playing Final Fantasy 14. I had to play Path of Exile. Blah blah blah.
I'm playing Final Fantasy 14 right now, and I'm really digging it. But fucking, I on a whim downloaded a game that I was gonna make fun of. I was like, this game looks like garbage. It's called Space Lord or Space Lords, and it does have that stupid fucking song in the intro. Started playing it, and I was like, this game is pretty fun. So I'm like, God damn it! I just found another game I want to play. Like, fuck.
But
it's just never ending.
Yeah, I think the only other recommendation I would say is if you like gritty, like darker toned games got some pretty disturbing imagery. So
yeah, it's creepy.
Chris,
I don't have anything to add to that. I think you guys
ain't
covered
got
everything.
shit.
If you love Sonic Mania, it's unrelated.
Completely.
Go play that. All right. Let's grade it. I'm just gonna jump in.
Hey.
I'm giving this a fucking big old fat A. This is the first time ever that I've given AAA 3 A's to all the shit we've played this month. I love Path of Exile. I love coming back to it. I always enjoy it a lot. It's one of my favorite, if not my favorite, RPGs that exist. Yeah, I had a blast playing it. Can't wait for the future of it. And yeah, I just love everything about it. It's awesome. Big A.
I'm gonna have to echo that. It's definitely an A game. I was actually trying to convince myself to go lower, but every time I played it this month, I literally just kind of lost track of time. So
yeah, you started playing a little bit, and then you were like caught up to me. I'm like, oh, okay, he's playing it. It sucks because I was gone for like 10 days, but like I was like, he's actually playing that shit. That's awesome.
Yeah, it didn't take much. It hooked quick. So, and it has every time I've played it. So it is a fantastic game in the genre. And the great part about it, like, kind of brought up earlier, is it doesn't have to end. I can come back to it later when I feel like playing an ARPG again. Unlike, if I go back and play Diablo 3, it's really easy for me to get burnt out because I've done it so many times and it doesn't change anymore. So.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, free-to-play RPGs are never like exciting for me just because I'm like, I would prefer to just have all the content. Luckily, these guys treat it that way. And it's a rarity. So, they're the only ones who are really doing it in that way. I'm sure there's a couple other examples, but they do it the best. So when you come back and play this, it's like you're playing a game you paid for. It's full. It's awesome. So it's always great to come back to. And there's always new content.
I am also going to give this an A, just because there's so much replay value in this, because you can, like I said, make your character however you want every time. And it doesn't get dry because like each character is different. As long as you customize and build them the right way, that each character is unique and the playthrough is fun every time. It's just a blast to play. Even if it does look a little bit like an older game, it doesn't matter. It's a lot of fun.
It fits the disturbing nature of the visuals, though.
For sure.
And the graphics do get like, you can tell as the updates, you go through the updates or whatever.
More and more detailed.
It gets more and more detailed for sure, yeah. Because that first area is really just kind of like brown and gray. And I remember the animations being a lot less smooth too. So it seems like they've added maybe some frames to it, or made the animations better, something like that. Because I remember feeling a lot more like.
Yeah, they've had to make adjustments over time, or maybe just remember it differently. Who knows?
Yeah, possibly. So 3 A's.
Yeah,
I think this is like the highest ratings we've done in a month ever on the channel. So that's fucking crazy. Let us know in the comments. Have you played Path of Exile? Have you not played it? Did you play it and you didn't want to play it because you're like, I don't like that skill tree system? I've heard people say that. Plenty of people say that. Do you like it? Do you hate it? What would you grade it? Yeah. What do you play as? What's your main? Yeah, what would it take to get you into it if you're not into it? Let us know everything you think about when it comes to Path of Exile. And that's going to do it for this episode of Game of the Month. Quick reminder that we will be playing Final Fantasy X next month, so make sure to play that somehow. And
it's on everything.
Yeah. And yeah, as always, thank you for watching. Make sure to like and subscribe if you enjoyed this episode. Make sure to check out our other episodes. Check us out on Tumblr, Twitter, and Facebook at Tasty Loot Gaming. Check me and Chris out on Twitch, and only Twitch, at Tasty Senpai, all one word. That's me, and Tasty_Fruit. That's Chris. Ubisoft killed our streams, so you have to check me out on Twitch. Discord. Yeah, we got one of those. They're it's down below. There's a link. You can talk to us anytime, all the time. And we're on iTunes, Spotify, and other podcast platforms if you prefer to listen to us. My name's Seth.
I'm Chevy.
And I'm Chris.
Until the next episode, which will be Taste Tuesday. Have a good week, guys, and take it easy.